suggested that we meet under a disused jetty by the river.
Disused Yeti?
Hi, welcome to Disused Yeti. I'm Risa Romano.
I'm Nandini Bapat.
And I'm Warren Jaycox.
And today we're filming at Galaxy of Comics.
Hooray!
Yay.
And we're going to be doing sort of a bit of a battle here between two very well-loved episodes, The Doctor's Wife and Vincent and the Doctor, which, Vincent and the Doctor was late season 5. The Doctor's Wife was early season 6.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, Vincent Van Gogh.
Wait. Who are the companions? Is this Amy?
Yeah, Amy. Rory, Amy.
Oh, me,
for
okay.
both of them, and then Rory was in The
Doctor's Wife.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to point out, I watched all of this. I watched literally like 30 some odd seasons in about 6 months' time. So that's why I never seem to remember
anything.
Yes.
No, I want to say that Vincent and the Doctor would probably be my favorite. I think because it's a very one-off episode. It works out. It just flows really well. It's, I think the whole Vincent Van Gogh thing, like, it's handled really well, and I love him. He's adorable. The whole flirting between him and Amy is just cute, and, I don't know, I think the Doctor's more ridiculous in that one, and I'm just like, let's just put a face over Matt Smith and ignore him, and just Amy and Vincent, because that's probably my favorite part of the episode. But, because he just acts ridiculous. But, I did like the whole, like, technology thing that he brought in with that recognized the Grapheus, like, that thing with that was fun. But yeah, I think over The Doctor's Wife, like, with The Doctor's Wife, it's a little confusing, and I don't really like that other universe planet that smells like feet. I don't know, it's just weird. And, I did like it up until the point where the Doctor thought that the Time Lords were there, but then finding out that a bunch of Time Lords were killed, like, that was really depressing, especially at the time when we didn't know that Gallifrey was still around. It was like, watching the Doctor, like, have all this hope that he wasn't the last one, and then having that crumble, like, that was just super depressing. And I was like, okay. So when I go back and watch, like, old episodes, I watch Vincent and the Doctor. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I personally am a really big Doctor's Wife supporter.
Can we point out this is Neil Gaiman?
Yes.
And it was written by Neil Gaiman,
that's what I thought.
Neil Gaiman with a lot of Stephen Moffat and a lot of other help.
There's clearly other people had their hands in it. And it actually was originally supposed to be a season 5 episode with just Amy, and they had to change it to bring Rory into it, which is, I think, is part of the reason why they've got Amy and Rory off doing their own. They're there, but they're trapped. It sort of turns into like a funhouse maze for them, like a nightmarish funhouse maze for them.
Yeah.
While meanwhile the Doctor's dealing with Idris, and I just really love Idris. Really is my main thing. I don't think they could ever bring her back. I think the minute they do that, it ruins that entire episode. But I liked her for what she was in that. And she's crazy, and she doesn't quite make sense, and that's because she's not human.
Right. Yeah.
She's not supposed to be a person. So when she is, she doesn't act right. And I thought that the actors did it really well.
Yeah.
Remind me how it happens again?
So they end up on that planet, and
they're in there's like a rip or something, and they're just outside of
the universe.
Yeah.
They're like the section,
universe.
The bubble on the whole universe or whatever.
Right.
And the planet that they're on eats TARDISes. So he drains the soul of the TARDIS into a human body, so he can then eat the TARDIS for all its energy, for the Archon energy. And then they have to get her back in the TARDIS.
Right. They have to get the like the soul, if you will, because it's essentially, it's like it's possession, basically.
Yeah, the Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to get her back into the TARDIS, or else the TARDIS will die, and the soul is in the body, and the body's dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So because the human body can't contain the TARDIS.
Right.
So.
And I think she was sick anyway, the girl who she's inhabiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is very depressing, and it ends depressing. It ends with her dying and saying goodbye. But then it means that the TARDIS is able to go on forever.
Right.
I think my thing with Vincent and the Doctor is, like, you already know he's going to die. So
I was gonna say, but
there's a little depressing there. But I think, like, for me, it's like that the episode sort of ends with them showing him.
It's a very hopeful ending too, and they do take him there, and there's the whole thing with Bill Nye. did his bow tie.
And that was so cute. I was like, oh, the bow tie. But it was just adorable. And so, I mean, I do like Idris.
I love both episodes. I want to just throw that out there.
Yeah.
The point of this is, like, if you had to pick one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like, I liked the banter between the Doctor and Idris, because it's like they finally get to have that conversation, like...
Well, that and when he gets back and he's introducing them, that was actually my favorite part. It's the TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's a woman, and she's the TARDIS. Did you wish
really hard? I love that.
Go, shut up, not like that. And she goes, hello, I'm sexy. Still shut up.
That was definitely one of my favorite parts. Like, you could take, like, GIFs from all of that show, and, like, it would be amazing. Actually, I should take a GIF of that. Did you wish really hard?
It's one of the favorite lines I think of all time.
I think it would be really fun. I mean, like, I know you're right. Like, if they brought Idris back, it would kind of just flop the whole show. But it would be really fun to see River Song, Idris, and the Doctor all in one room, because it's like...
They could do, like, an outside of time, like, mini episode like they do. Yeah.
And that would be so much fun, because, I mean, like, the Doctor and his 2 wives.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that, too. That was interesting to name an episode, to title an episode that when all of the River Song stuff was happening, because we didn't know who she was, and then there was an episode called The Doctor's Wife, and everyone was like, what's that? And then it's the TARDIS, which I thought was kind of genius.
It's very appropriate. I felt like we finally brought the TARDIS from just a machine that they travel in to a being, a character.
She's alive. So it was cool to actually see her be alive.
It'd be like making it'd be like giving the Starship Enterprise some sort of personality as a person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen even more, like, there's little things that the TARDIS does that...
Yeah, she definitely has a personality.
Yeah, so I think it was nice to kind of see that personality, because the Doctor kind of has, like, this one-sided conversation, like a crazy person.
Exactly.
And now it's actually...
She can talk back.
He's not totally crazy. She actually is alive.
Yeah. But with that, I agree with you. I think the Vincent Van Gogh episode, for me, I actually remember tearing up a little bit, because I
did too. Absolutely.
That was a great episode. Yeah. He was perfect for Vincent Van Gogh. I mean, absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. I remember now that you mentioned, I remember the flirty, the kind of back and forth between him and Amy.
Yeah.
That was a great episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm also really partial to time travel episodes where they go back and
they
see historical figures.
Do enough. We've talked about that before.
They really don't.
Yeah.
If they go to different times and different places, that would be
Yeah.
That would definitely be, like, for next season, I want to see more time travel to
They used to do entire episodes. They'd step out of the TARDIS and be in some other place, and they haven't been. It always at least starts. It seems like, and part of it is as soon as you have. They did this with Amy and Rory and with Clara. As soon as they are living on Earth and the Doctor is going and picking them up, they have to do that.
Yeah.
So let's have someone living on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well, they've already shown. They've shown several times that the TARDIS is this giant thing
and there's
that has
a million rooms.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't seen a lot of that lately either.
With Amy and Rory, it made sense because they lived on the TARDIS for a while, but then they started feeling like they weren't having a life because they'd been doing it for so long, and so that's why
they kind of separate.
Yeah. Right. And so then they, and it was also because the Doctor felt like he was gonna kill them, and he did eventually. And then sort of,
eventually you have.
I was gonna say, isn't that kind of what he does?
Eventual outcome.
But I mean, in his defense, it's like, you're immortal, so eventually shit's gonna happen. I mean,
you're gonna outlive whoever you're with.
Yeah,
exactly. Plus, there's always that benefit of the possibility of killing people like Adric.
Yeah,
right.
But then with Clara, like, I did feel like it was a little ridiculous to keep going back and forth. So I think I agree.
She started out that way. With Amy and Rory, it was like after a certain point, they started living separately, and he would come and pick them up. Yeah. With Clara, she was living separately, and he would pick her. There was never any time really when she was on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Living there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because she's always working. She has a job outside of that, and it's like, hello, time travel.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
I think, like with Martha, I really liked that it was like, he picked her up, they time traveled, then he brought her back, and then it was
And
like,
she
okay, see ya,
left, yeah.
done.
Right.
You know,
And went and was able to live a life
exactly,
after that,
and continue with
Even
everything.
though it was with Mickey Ricky.
But it wasn't like
Never liked that guy.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
it wasn't interconnected with the Doctor.
Yeah.
It was Unit,
Right.
which is Doctor adjacent, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
like Rose was on a mission
Yeah.
to go find the Doctor and save the Doctor, and Martha's doing her own thing.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
Doctor
Well,
connected.
I think like you said with the whole companions thing, a few episodes back, that, you know, if we have somebody that's from a different time zone or from the future, you know, like that sort of thing, it'd be really nice to have like a character like that who lives on the TARDIS, because we don't necessarily have to go to their time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I think
That would fix
Yeah.
that, I think, a
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah. Or even if we were visiting their time, it would be interesting because it would be time travel and we'd be seeing like a new planet or a new, like, you know, like the past or something like that, you know.
All right, it just is telling us we're done.
Yeah.
Those are the breaks, right? Am I right on that? Aren't
Yes.
those the breaks?
Those are the breaks.
Blue
yeah.
Boringers. Turn on the Blue Boringers.
All right, so that's that for this episode.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Disused Yeti?